Almost 2 years ago now, I was new to running my fabrication business. I had just started like a year or year and a half before this, and I met this older guy, this welder, who actually became my mentor. So we kind of worked together on projects every now and then. But after we worked together quite a bit, he saw that I was quite competent. I could do some decent looking welds, and he ended up turning me loose on this big project. This job was like close to 20 grand. And so I thought, great, I'm going to be rich. But the problem is, like every 21-year-old kid, I knew everything there was to know about welding and fabrication. Anyway, I started doing this job, and it ended up being way more complicated than I originally thought. And at that point, I really didn't have the humility to ask for help. And so I ended up just gritting my teeth and kept going on it. You know, I told the customer it'd be like 4 weeks out, I think, and it ended up being like 3 months before I got it done. And so up until this point, the customer had been really nice about it, got it installed, and the customer was not happy with it. And getting close to the end of the job, she kind of just laid out all her complaints about how much she disliked all these metal doors that I had just built and put in her horse stalls. And that just about broke me, and it really hurt to hear that my work was terrible. It wasn't so much that the work was actually that terrible, it was just that I didn't pay very close attention to detail. So everything kind of looked good at a distance, but you get up close and you see a lot of imperfections, a lot of detail work that I could have improved on, and just a lot of things. These doors ended up warping and all kinds of things that I just didn't know. But if I would have been smart and humble, I had a mentor who I could have just called up and said, hey, I'm having this problem. How do I fix this? Or is there anything that I need to know before getting into this project? Or would you like to come help me with this project? Because I've never done something like this before and I don't exactly know what I'm doing. But instead of that, like a typical 21-year-old, I just went in overconfidently and completely screwed this thing up. So that was a big lesson for me in humility. And what I'm here to tell you guys is humble yourself before God, because if you don't humble yourself, He will humble you. He might even use somebody else to do it. In this case, He used my non-believing customer to actually humble me and get me to a point where I could learn that I don't know everything, and so that I can learn from my mistakes and keep growing. Because up until that point, nobody had really called me out, and I was just super cocky, doing my own thing. And so I'm actually really thankful for that encounter with that customer, because that helped build me up to the man that I am today, and am becoming better because of things like that God uses. Seems to be the case that the jobs that go well, or the things in life that go well, those aren't the ones that you learn from, but the ones that go terrible, the mistakes you make, seem to be the things that you actually learn from. The Bible says that God gives grace to the humble, but He resists the proud. I'm not saying I'm perfectly humble now. I have to check myself every single day. I have to ask God for humility, because pride is an easy trap to fall into. We can all fall into that trap, and ultimately, pride is the worst sin of all, because you're telling God, essentially, I know better than you. In fact, pride is the very sin that caused Lucifer to be cast out of heaven and become Satan, and he took a third of the angels with him because he wanted to be like God. He wanted to have his own kingdom that was like God's kingdom, instead of being submitted to God Himself. That's going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what kind of content you'd like to see me post in the future. And if you'd like to see more like this, consider subscribing to the channel, because Lord willing, I will keep sending you content just like this video. Thanks, and God bless.